with, I suppose, being very direct with how you communicate. Like even now, I mean, as you've grown, because you sort of start to get a lot more people who maybe weren't from your original, let's say, cult following, maybe goes from cult to more mainstream following. Have you ever been kind of tempted to almost tone that down, or have people been in your ear telling you to tone that down and to stop being as you kind of in a way?
So I worked in recruitment for a long time, and it was shit. And I had to lie to people to fit in. So like I remember people would be like, "Oh, James, how was your weekend?" And I'd say, "Yeah, just went for dinner with friends." But the reality was that I was thrown up into a bin bag in the back of a rugby bus naked, doing the Spider-Man, which is where you open all the drawers and you got to make it from one end of the rugby bus to the other naked, right? So you got your balls and dick just dangling in front of all the team. You got Colts playing their first game of adult rugby. You got someone doing a bird bath at the back of the bus. It's just weird, right? You know, it's not gay, it's rugby.
Rugby banter is different level.
Yeah, like you got people doing no-handed manginas, thrown up on a bus, like, but I'd have to come up to work and pretend that wasn't me. So yeah, you know, we just went to Wagamama's for dinner. I worked in like a posh recruitment firm. Then I tried taking that professionalism into PT, and I just attracted fucking ball bags. People that they drive a Porsche, they pay you on time, but they were fucking boring. So then I was like, oh, this just isn't me. And then like, you know, I would start relaxing a bit and just being myself on the gym floor. Like I'd see like a bodybuilder and just, you know, even with my client, I'd be like, oh mate, we have the heavy weights down there if you want them. Or, you know, just banter someone like squatting real heavy weight. I'd be like, you finished warming up, mate? We need the rack. You know, like just whatever it was. And my clients would find it funny. I would even just start rumors about other PTs. I was like, oh, he got caught wanking with a belt around his neck the other day. You know, like whatever it was. That'd be Chris Williamson. And wait, we'll give him a bit of shit.
Oh.
God, guys, podcasting is my life. All right, just really appreciate.
Here we go.
Welcome to Modern Wisdom.
Here we go. Gay crashing it. He's taking over. We're going to let a professional take my seat now in a second here.
There's a crate of white tropical in the fridge for you, mon ami.
Mate, it's a banging flavour, to be fair, tropical ice. But
you look forward to the 21 hours of flying tonight. Other side.
Those forearms, mate. You just spot the forearms before anything else.
So then, I was on the gym floor, and when I started being myself, I started being myself a bit more in the content. One, the content would get like better content or like better comments and better feedback, let's just say. And then I remember there was this lady that sat in front of me, and she sat down and she was like, "You swear a lot. I think we're going to get on." And she was like, "I'm fucking fat 'cause I eat way too much and I don't fucking exercise." And I was like, "Perfect." And she was like, "You swear more than anyone else. I think we're going to get on." So I was like, "Cool." And then when I sat with her during the consult, see you in a bit, Chris. I said, "I need a food log." And I could just feel the energy. And I was like, if I sense you're lying, if I sense that you're lying to me, I'm going to fire you. First session, I was like, cool. She came in, she gave me an honest food log, and I was like, fucking hell. And like, we actually implemented a strategy where she was a dog trainer and she didn't eat from midday to 6 p.m. and then she'd binge. So she'd have a sandwich at lunch. I made her make 2 sandwiches. I said, it's not going to cost more. It's not going to take more time. You have a second sandwich at 3 p.m. And her binges like massively decreased. And we got her losing weight, eating more sandwiches, which was wild. But when we'd get in, like, if I got her to do a hard exercise, she'd go, "Oh, you're such a cunt." And I'd be like, this feels good. Like, we get on. And even just other things, like I was doing a consult and reception. This guy's there with his wife, and I was like, "Need you to probably eat a high protein diet, maybe 1.5 grams of protein." And he started being like, he kind of pushed back on my advice. I was like, "All right, cool," once. And then his wife said something, then he said something. Every time I tried to give him advice as to what I would do if I was working with him, he pushed back. And he was quite an overweight chap. And I just got to the point where I just said, "You fucking tried it your way." Right in front of him and his wife. His wife, and I was like, "So how about we try it my way?" And he never came back after the consult, but I felt fucking liberated. And literally the receptionist was just like looking over, like, "What the fuck? Did you just say that to someone?" And I was like, this is empowering. This is great. And then also you never get found out. You know, I've joked about snorting coke, doing MD, getting in K-holes, whatever it is. So then when you are in a K-hole at a festival, people aren't like, "Oh my God." They're like, "Oh, it's just James. It's just being legit."
And everyone does it.
Everyone does
if they're being honest with themselves.
Yeah, and no one is that polite. No one, you know, people seem to think that their followings are really fucking stupid, right? They seem to think they can't see through shit. But when people are too proper, you know, it's a facade, right? So, and I've always said, like, I think people are really quick to spot you when you're just being normal. And I think that's why I potentially resonate with a lot of people. But it comes with a price. So if I grow by 5,000 followers on Instagram, I lose 2,500. So on average, I've lost the same amount of followers that I've gained. So even though I'm at 1.2 now, I've lost over 750, 800,000 followers easily.
Wow.
Because some people come for the information, they just can't handle it. Or some people come for it and they just don't like it. Some people, so, you know, if I was like, hey guys, today we're going to be cooking avocado in the kitchen, you know, you probably keep more of these people, but you're much better off having a red hot audience. And like, even when we travel, I feel people come up to me and talk to me like I'm their friend. They're like, James, what's going on, man? How was last night? Get with any birds? Oi, oi. You know, like, and that's the way I'd rather have it than people going, hello, I listened to your podcast and I think it's really, and right, I call it the cuncive. You've got to have like, you know, when you're fishing for gold, you put all the shit in, you shake it just to find a little nugget. Just do that with your content as well. Like, because at the end of the day, it's exhausting to be just barely popular with everyone. Look at Joe Wicks, right? Made way more money than me, way more successful than me, got a fucking MBE or whatever. But I just don't feel like anyone would see him in a pub and go, fucking hell, I'd love to have a beer with him, right? And I think that even to this day, I'd rather have that effect where, you know, I say, hey guys, can you come listen to me for an hour, talk about a subject that I haven't even told you what it's going to be about, and they all come. Whereas for him, he has to do a workout to 1,000 people on the beach. You know, it's very different, and you could have had that PG kind of following where you're trying to appease everyone, but I just find it exhausting because even if I was to go to a family barbecue, I don't give a shit if half your family don't like me. I'll just sit in the corner with the other ones that, you know, are drunk and being inappropriate, you know. So I think so many people have social media wrong in that way where, you know, even someone like Joe Rogan, right, one of the most successful podcasts in the world, he doesn't give a fuck what people think. He's just being himself. And that's why he's been able to do it for so long.
Yeah, I think so. I think even some of the things you've said have kind of struck a chord with me where it is it's an actual reflection of reality when you're saying what someone's doing, where someone else may say, people are eating, let's say they binge at the weekend, they're going over their calories and stuff. You're like, nah, mate, you're going out getting smashed in pints, getting the bags in with the lads. And then you have like garlic mayo all over your face at the end of the night. And like, that's actually your weekend. That's what a lot of people are hearing that. They're like, yeah, even though they won't admit it, they're like, yeah, to be fair, that actually is what's throwing me off. It's not just a bit of binging. There's a lot that goes with that. When you're accurately reflecting reality, I think people have a bit more of a response to that.
And also like, when you're super approachable in that sense. I remember having young people I trained that were like, oh, I'm going to festival at the weekend. I was like, you doing drugs? They're like, yeah, going to get a bit of MD. I was like, pills or MD? They're like, oh, we're going to get some pills. I'm like, what pills? Oh, we're going to get blue punishers. I was like, listen, it's 250 milligrams. Be careful. Like, and they're like, what's going on? I'm there in a PT session. I'm like, you're going to start your squats in a minute? Look at me. I'm like, look at me. Half. And I was like, you need to wait 2 hours before you do another half. And like, I'd say this, then my client would come in on Monday and she'd be like, thank fuck you said do half. I was like, why? She was like, oh, we did half, didn't feel anything for an hour. Remember what you said to me in the session. An hour and a quarter later, we came up and I was like, I could have saved her life. You know, like, so just having that approach, being like, you know, because I had a fucking blue punisher and I was flying. So, you know, like, it's one of those things where I think that we have to be like full board advice with people. We need to like be yourself and, you know, explain to people just everything, because life is such a multifaceted thing. No one really is professional behind closed doors. The reason that we have the majority of like this woke bullshit going on is because people's chats that they have, and this is it. So sometimes I'll say something that some people are like, oh, you can't say that. But I'm like, everyone's saying it at the dinner table anyway. They're just not saying it online. So like, it's a weird like echo chamber that exists of what's proper to say in public. Like, and yeah, it's just exhausting.
Do you find that very liberating in general, that you're just very open about things? I mean,
yeah, until my mum called me a druggie the other day. She was like, oh, you druggie. I was like, Mum, I was only talking about ketamine and mushrooms. I was like, they've both been amazing for me, apart from the time I K-holed in an elevator. But still, like...
it happens.
And the elevator broke down. I wasn't sure.
Oh, mate, that's minging now.
Yeah, so you can get ketamine and nasal spray in America. They use it to treat depression.
Interesting.
So I didn't believe it. A girl that I met, and I hit it significantly.
Damn. This is an interesting thing. Yeah, obviously they're illegal back home, but if you were in many places in the States, are more on the cutting edge of things. So using LSD to treat people with depression, using psilocybin to treat people with depression.
Where I went to get an ice bath, I looked at a menu. They had ketamine therapy. So you get jabbed with ketamine and do a therapy session. I put my name down. They called me back once I was already back in the UK. I was like, this is the future. if they had that now, I'd be doing it today.
Wow. Interesting.